Welcome back to Yang Daily. I'll be your host, Alex Cheney, bringing you all the Yang news you need to live your life right. Still trying to catch up on the news torrent. We've just about managed it. Remember that you're on your own for Saturday news. Shout out to our Tier 3 patrons, Peter Park and Shay Meehan, as well as all our other patrons. None of this would exist without your support. I'll be getting some new polls out today and discussing the results of others. More on that next episode. On to the news. Starting off with a bang, Mayors for AGI has created a training sprint partnership between themselves, What Works Cities, the Economic Security Project, and Stockton Demo to provide a sprint or series of courses for mayors and other elected staff who want to learn more about creating an income floor for residents. Participating cities will join a 6-session online learning course with a cohort of peers from other cities to gain a firm understanding of the history, available research, and needed research around guaranteed income, the actions necessary to launch a task force or working group to explore guaranteed income demonstrations in their cities, the actions necessary to develop guaranteed income demonstrations, and concrete next steps to engage with Mayors for a Guaranteed Income to collectively advocate for a federal guaranteed income. The sessions will be weekly 1 to 1.5 hour webinars and or cohort discussions delivered via online learning platform Thursday afternoons at 3 p.m. Eastern starting October 8th and ending November 19th. This is a great resource to direct your mayor to so that they know there is a way for them to quickly get up to speed and be supported in joining the movement. Write up a letter to your mayor, direct them to Mayors for AGI and this training course, along with a brief description of why UBI is so transformative and where they can learn more about it. Registration deadline for the training is Monday, October 5th, 2020. More exciting news, GoodDollar just launched their app. In case you haven't heard, GoodDollar is an attempt to create a UBI via blockchain and decentralized finance, essentially functioning as a digital bank, allowing people to invest money and then splitting the returns on investment between the donor and the entire GoodDollar community. It uses cryptocurrency and a lot of complicated financing, but you don't need to know about any of that to benefit from it. All you have to do is follow the link below and sign up, which requires no entry of personal information whatsoever. Literally took 30 seconds to create an account. And that's it. If you want to invest, you can do so. If you don't have to. I signed up today and we'll see how it goes. In Trump news, it's basically a running joke at this point since it's been going on since 2016, but worth pointing out that Trump has broken another promise when he claimed in the July 19th Chris Wallace interview that he would be signing a new healthcare plan within 2 weeks, which would cover pre-existing conditions. Months later, no plan, no talk of a plan, nothing. Just as he has broken this promise time and time again since the primary days. Likewise, we received evidence from Trump's new interview that he has knowingly lied to the public about the danger of COVID-19. He straight up admitted that he downplayed the threat, supposedly to prevent panic. Let that sink in. Our president intentionally misinformed the public on a pandemic, underpreparing us to the result of hundreds of thousands of preventable deaths. And that is on top of his misinformation that directly counteracted efforts to stem the spread, such as not wearing a mask, not social distancing, disparaging mask wearing and social distancing, promoting dangerous and ineffective treatments, and holding indoor rallies, which is, of course, not to mention the myriad of ways in which he mishandled the pandemic directly. Never forget that he is responsible indirectly for hundreds of thousands of deaths. On that note, a short pandemic documentary was also released called American Pathogen, which follows Trump's handling of the pandemic from start to finish, what he knew and when, what he could have done, and what he did do. It's a good overview of why he is largely responsible for those preventable deaths. On a whole other topic, Emmett Short is breaking new ground, having had GPT write his latest episode of Knee of the Curve for him after studying his past scripts. GPT-3 wrote the script, and Emmett reads it and provides the graphics and inflection. It's a fascinating melding of human and AI, and likely a distorted look of what's coming in the future. GPT went a bit off the rails at times, and Emmett had to play it off, but the opening segment was right on the money and pretty indistinguishable from the regular programming to me. It's only a matter of time before AI replaces him with a deepfake, if it hasn't already. Rip Emmett. Kyle Kulinski, love him or hate him, is a huge influencer and has continued to grow on the issue of UBI and grow more fond of it. His recent episode on it is proof positive, with nothing but love for the concept. He even floated Yang as one of his top 3 choices for the 2024 Democratic presidential candidate, behind Nina Turner. He's still stuck on some purity test stuff around M4A and anti-establishment and so on, but I'm very happy to have him on our side, even if I don't agree with all his positions. Quite simply, it's better to have allies than enemies. We have yet another new emergency basic income bill coming out in the House. Representatives Dean and Cartwright will introduce Payments for the People Act, which consists of quarterly rather than monthly payments to families beginning at $2,000 while unemployment remains elevated at 8.5% and reducing by $500 per 1.5% drop in unemployment thereafter until it sustains below 5.5% for 2 months, whereupon the program would terminate. It's means tested, beginning phase out at $75,000 yearly income for individuals, similar to the CARES Act, but available to all taxpayers, spouses, and qualifying dependents of any age within that tax bracket, including households with ITIN holders. Needless to say, this is underwhelming compared to other bills in play, but at least the concept continues to draw new interest. Finally, Humanity Calls is calling out the Yang Gang. As he says, there are a ton of people super active on Twitter, yet only about 50 are doing all the work in phone banking. And frankly, that's not enough to make us the political force we need to be in order to achieve our goals as a movement. We need hundreds of phone bankers, thousands. You don't have to do it full time or even a lot. If everyone spent just half an hour a week phone banking for Humanity Forward candidates, we would become an overnight heavyweight player in politics and have the power to make demands of politicians. If you want to control policy, you have to control politicians, which means you have to control whether they win or lose. If they know that winning the approval of Yang Gang means they will have hundreds of thousands of hours of phone banking time donated to their campaign, they will court our policies. That's how it works. If you want to make a difference, if you want to live in a world of UBI, universal health care, data rights, democracy reform, commit to half an hour a week of phone banking. We can only do this together. The link is below. Click it. And that'll do it for today's Yang Daily. Alert your mayor to join Mayors for a Guaranteed Income and the training sessions. Set up your GoodDollar account. Share and bookmark the pandemic documentary. Check out GPT's Knee of the Curve episode. Help Humanity Calls make humanity first a force for good by phone banking 30 minutes a week. Help recruit other organizations to the cause and get everyone to sign the UBI petition. Flood Congress and Trump with calls, tweets, and letters using the ResistBot or Income Movement easy contacts below. If you need help, consult Humanity Forward, the Income Movement Aid Database, the Mission Asset Fund, United Way, or the H3 podcast thread. And don't forget to Yang Daily.